came here from another place. Though I know it like the back of my hand. I have lived and seen the world, travelling a lonely road. I have been many things, though at times I did not know who I was. I have lived in the depths of hell, fighting demons, too many to count. So, I wake up in the morning and accept the challenge of a brand new day, not knowing what it will bring. I love this place. I love the water and the breeze as it whips in from the ocean. I love the sunrise and the colours that light up the morning sky. I love listening to the crashing of the waves as they hit the shore and the wind as it dances through one of the oldest instruments in the world. I have heard the rhythms and the sounds of the young, the bursts of tune that grab their attention. I have heard the beat as it beats and it beats and it beats, preying on the minds of the innocent. Hollow sounds, shallow words, turning a world to chaos. I have heard the cries of the young and seen their faces. I have sat with them as they lie with tubes in their arms from the damage they have done. I have picked them up from the streets of loneliness, wandering in the darkness with a shimmy by their side. I have seen their faces and smelt their bodies from the clothes they wear and never change. I have seen and felt their anger, and I have seen and felt them ever so slightly smile, a real smile. I've seen them stand up and say what they think. I've seen them dance because it's part of who they are and embrace an opportunity. But rarely have I seen them embrace a touch of love from their family. I have seen the system fail them because these statistics say they are not the ones we are going to help today. I have seen the system make excuses. I have seen the system feel good about itself, it can tick a box. So when it comes to the heart, it is just a ticking clock. I love this place. I love the water and the breeze as it whips in from the ocean. I love the sunrise and the colours which light up the morning sky. Oh, I love listening to the crashing of the waves as they hit the shore. I love my sanctuary, my escape from the world. I love my silence. Time to get to work. Can I have a piece of this pie? I'm hungry. Can I have this piece? I want to eat. No. Can I have this slice? I want to eat, I'm hungry. Stop talking. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that. If you thought the face of the world was beautiful, think again. Lost, desolate, desperate. We live in a society with no understanding of the issues which are impacting on our lives, that tear at the fabric of our souls, that plague our minds like tricks and thievery. So when a child walks out the door, they meet the devils that dance within. The chance play of wins that decides who loses and who wins. Wake up! Wake up and smell the fear bestowed upon us while others revel in illusion, their escape negated by what they will not see. Wake up! We have passed the year in which to safely live. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Your child is about to drop, falling uncontrollably into a sea of worms, slithering silently into despair. I know it. I've seen it. I've lived it. God bless this hell, though it rips the heart out of those who innocently look on. What are you going to do? Believe in only good and never evil as the world rotates on a cusp? How shallow is the thinking which drives the victim's victim to despair? Welcome to the jungle. May you beat the drum of loneliness. All I'm going to do is share with you the stories I have lived. You can analyse them, dream them, replay them, but you will never know the dark side of our reality until you understand them. I'm gone, for I was never here. Welcome to my world. Let's kneel in prayer.
Once upon a time, long ago in the time of creation, our creation ancestors formed the land and gave it life and rituals to keep it living. They also gave us the law and rules to live by. Creation explains the origins of the universe, how nature works, and people too. Now, with people, there was kinship and family life, and the law between men and women. We are responsible for the people, the land, and the spirits. All creation ancestors had power and could change into any form they wanted. After working on the creation, some went back into the land and others went up into the sky. The sun and moon and all the stars are the creation figures. All through the land there are creation tracks. You can see the creation ancestors at their most powerful in sacred sites. When you go to these places and feel yourself part of them, you know why the animals, birds, fish and plants are so powerful. Performing the rituals and stories, both sacred and public, keep these places alive. A person's creation is their identity, their belonging and their place in the world. It is where their spirit comes from and where it must return. Creation is forever, life and death without beginning or end. It is beyond words. It is the song of the universe, the rhythm of the land. Creation is the life of the spirit, the imagination. It is told with art, poetry, music, storytelling, dance, drama. Most of all, the creation ties and binds people to the land that owns them.
Driving down the road. It's a quiet afternoon. The world appears surreal in the rear-view mirror. Thanks for coming. We have a situation. Our caseworkers have completed their research process on members of a family. We have to remove a child. Well, I see the baby seat. We were wondering if you could do it for us. You know, Makes it easier on them, friendlier. Otherwise, we have to do it the hard way. Do you have a baby seat? Well, I see the baby seat to the left of me in the back. I am now part of what was and what is going to be. I stare at the baby seat and I see myself. The car is stopped. The car is stopped. I arrive at the house and I walk up the driveway. I know why I am here. I have sat in meetings discussing the implosion of families and the need to do something for the future of our children. Then the wheel turns and I'm here knocking at a door. I've been to this house many times. Julie and her daughter Jessie live here. Jessie's cousin Rachel stays over. They don't play with dolls or skipping ropes. They smoke pot, pop pills and drink with their relations. They are 12 and 13 years old. Oh, Peter. Most times when people come out of lockup, they are clean. No drugs, no alcohol, they are in a routine. Most times when people come out of jail, they want a second chance. But when you're part of a big family and most of them are involved in crime, it's hard to ignore the constant voices. Come on, distract and divert. At first, they're in their lockup routine. Wake at sunrise, shite shower shave, shite shower shave, shite shower shave. But this time when they look in the mirror, they say, what's next? What's next? Now there is no routine. Time passes from day to night, night to day. They're up at sunrise, but this time when they look in the mirror, they hear the sound of a twist top coming off a bottle and the constant voices are louder. Distract and divert, distract and divert. Shopping centres, bottle shops, churches, day and night, night or day. Doesn't matter. And if you're elderly or weak, someone's always watching. When the moment is right, they'll ask to use the toilet. Threaten for a key card and a PIN number, go to the bank, take your money, come back to the residence and nobody says a thing. Everybody knows they'll come back next week and do the same thing again until the offender's day is done. Smoke, drink, Billy's abuse, pop a few pills, snort a line or two. I listen for sounds, to hear how many people are inside or in the roof, for sometimes they hide there. I notice if the doors are open or shut and if the house is clean and tidy. Rarely is. I sit with my back to the wall at the kitchen table so I can see the kitchen and the lounge together. I look outside the back window and out the back door. I can see everything. Behind the microwave is a knife. Beside the fridge is a cricket bat. Somewhere there is a gun. Hey, Pete, you got a smoke? Smoke, Peter? Yeah, everybody's smoking, making promises. Jessie was picked up from the shopping centre toilets, passed out from chroming. Julie just cannot handle all her children. She has 6 as well as other family members. There are over 100 in our area. A notification was put into child protection. That's why I'm here. Child protection. I knock on the door. It opens. Julie is standing there, smartly dressed. I look down the corridor. The house is spotless. Do you know why I am here? Yes, I do. What would you like to do? Let them come and do it. Sirens and all. Okay. I get in the car. I drive down the road, pull over, I make the call. In the background I hear the sirens and I look in the mirror at the baby seat. What's happening, dude? What's happening? I think about the caseworker who drove Jesse and Rachel home in his brand new red car. Jesse gave him an address she said was their uncle's place. He waited, they went in, came out, he dropped them off home. When he went back to work, the police called to say there'd been a robbery with a brand new red car involved. He was transferred. Rachel was an interesting type. She told me I was a fat FC, which I was considering how much time I was spending in the car. No home-cooked meals, junk food, free lunches. I wasn't offended. Are you hungry, Peter, you FFC? I have a policy of see nothing, hear nothing, say nothing, know everything. I make sure that I detach myself emotionally from the young, focus on the issues which are impacting their lives and the best way to plant seeds for their future. And who are we to judge? God, Bunjil, or whoever we believe in has that right, and we will be judged upon our judgment day. Rachel was 12 when she first fell pregnant. Her boyfriend was in his 20s. By the time she was 17, she had 4 children all placed in care. Her man was a real mongrel and nothing was going to part them. The department didn't want to go down that pathway anyway. They just hoped he would get caught and go to jail. They wanted to send Rachel back to school, but were advised she and the school aren't ready for each other. But they went ahead and did it anyway. I mean, they did. They really went ahead and did it. By the end of the first day, Rachel had told the school bully, "I will cut off your head, stick a football up your bottom and watch it pop out your headless neck." By sunset, they were both having a party on the school's roof with petrol taken from the ute. They both had warrants for breach of bail. Breach of bail. I go around to their auntie's place to ask them if they want to deal with the warrants. Oddly enough, they both say yes. I look down the corridor at the kitchen table. There's family members sitting around and smoking cones. Yeah. Jesse and Rachel come out. We're just about to leave when their grandmother hits me up for some smokes, tells the girls to behave themselves. They think it's funny. We arrive at the police station and I ask for Detective such and such. Takes us to an interview room and asks, "Would you like a tea or coffee?" "Oh, tea please, black, no sugar." Out of courtesy, he asks the girls, "Coffee please, 6 sugars." And we sit there waiting. Well, that's what you do when you're at the police station. Wait, you're not going anywhere when you're at the police station. The girls were giggling and fidgety, and I'd bent down to do up my shoelace when I noticed them passing something under the table. "Hey, what have you got there?" And they both pop a pill. The door opens, the detective comes back in, and they put 6 sugars into their coffee and drink it. I sit in court watching 2 kids off their faces, promising they will abide by yet another court order. Unbelievable. Court order was for a robbery at a church. "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Distract and divert, distract and divert." It is a Sunday and Jesse and Rachel are on a mission. Nearly every church has a residency, and when the girls knock on one door, a nun opens it. Oh, we have no food at home. Mum sent us here because all the food banks are closed and our brothers and sisters are hungry, and we was hoping you might be able to help us. The nun invites them in. When the nun goes to the kitchen to get the food together, Jesse asks, "Can I use the phone to let Mum know that we're all right and that the church is going to help us?" The nun says, "Oh, Yes, of course. Oh, dear. And Rachel asks, can I please use the toilet? And the nun says, oh, yes, of course, dear. Down the corridor, turn right. Distract. Divert. While Jessie is on the phone calling her cousins up bush, she positions herself to get a view of the nun getting the food together. Rachel goes down the corridor, doesn't turn right, but scans the bedrooms for something to steal. Distract and divert. Still on the phone, Jessie notices a handbag hanging over a chair. With one eye on the nun, she opens the bag and finds a wallet and a digital camera. Hangs up as the nun comes back with the food. In the background, we hear the toilet flush and Rachel meets her at the front door. Oh, thank you so much. Mum will be so grateful for the church's generosity. The door closes and they're off down the street. When they're out of sight, they throw the food in the bin, go through the wallet, take the money and keep the digital camera. A few hours later, the nun realises she's been robbed, calls the police and fingers Jessie and Rachel from their mugshot. Police pick them up, take them to the interview room and asks them to empty their pockets when a digital camera appears. Whose camera is this? Rachel says it's hers. Mine. Jessie says it's hers. Mine. The nun confirms it is the one stolen from her bag and the girls are charged with theft, given bail and a date to appear before the magistrate, for which they don't turn up. Hence the breach of bail. I love this place. I love the water and the breeze as it whips in from the ocean. I love the sunrise and the colours which light up the morning sky. I love listening to the crashing of the waves as they hit the shore. I love my sanctuary, my escape from the world. I love my silence.
Once upon a time in the creation, a group of men were out hunting wallabies. It had been raining and the ground was soft, making it hard for them to run. The wallabies, refreshed by the rain, were flighty and difficult to catch. The men came to a clump of trees near the edge of a small plain and decided to rest. There they sat around telling stories. Warming his hands by the fire, one of them looked up. On the horizon was a beautiful multicoloured arch, a rainbow. There goes the rainbow serpent moving from waterhole to waterhole. They were a little fearful. They did not want the huge, brightly coloured serpent near their camp. They were grateful it did not seem to be moving closer. They talked about hunting and fishing and the battles they had fought. But one young man wanted to know more about the rainbow serpent. The other hunters laughed. Be patient, they said, you'll find out in time. But the young man wanted to find out straight away. When they returned, the children ran out to greet them, and even though they had only 2 wallabies, not enough for everyone, there would be singing and dancing and a big corroboree. The young man waited until given permission to sit with the older men. Then he asked them about the rainbow serpent. The old men said it was one of the creation creatures who had shaped our Mother Earth. In the beginning, the earth was flat, a vast grey plain. As the rainbow serpent wound his way across the land, the movement of his body heaped up the mountains and dug troughs for the rivers. With each thrust of his huge multicoloured body, a new landform was created. He was the biggest of the creation creatures. Even the other living ancestors thought he was enormous and were incredibly careful to leave him alone. At last, tired with the effort of shaping the earth, he crawled into a waterhole. The cool water washed over his vast body, soothing him. The other animals watched as the water blurred the bright colours. Then he sank from sight. Each time the animals visited the waterhole, though they could not see him, they knew he was there. Then one day, after a heavy rainstorm, his huge coloured body arched up over the treetops, through the clouds and across the plains. To this day, young men are careful not to disturb the rainbow serpent when they see him going across the sky from waterhole to waterhole, forming our rainbows.
One thing that doesn't surprise me are the predators out there, lurking in the shadows for the vulnerable young lost in their desolate world. Some children can't see the light for the darkness. All it takes is one person to change the lives of so many. Just one person. When a child comes into conflict with their family, it usually involves the parents' issues impacting on the child. Children are the first people see, feel and hear their world differently than travellers who have come to our shores. All it takes is one person to engage them in drugs and alcohol and their spiritual connection is shattered. Just one person, and their sanctuary trembles as cracks appear within its foundations. Cracks appear. The system arrives into research, interview and conclude it is there to help your family. Before you know it, your child is taken and living in a residency. Your child now has a licence to do whatever they want. And if something occurs, the police are called automatically. It's procedure, they have to call. Policy and procedure. Your child now engages with other children who have been removed and come into contact with the justice system. The residencies may not be near each other, but there are no secrets. Your child is now connected to another world, a world where all their issues impact upon each other. Mental health, adolescence, physical, sexual, psychological abuse, anger, violence, suicide, self-harm, chroming, drugs and alcohol. You put them into a witch's melting pot and you stir them all together and they explode. Windows smashed, new cars damaged, houses set on fire, verbal abuse, threats to kill, the offending begins to escalate. Police are called, it is automatic. Policy, procedure. Policy, procedure. Threat with a plastic fork. Police are called, threat to kill. Megan knew the police station inside out. She had lived in the residencies for 4 years, was diagnosed with many different personalities. If Megan wasn't taking her medication, your day was always an adventure. I remember walking behind her, putting back the fence post she was pulling down. She drove everybody insane. She has no pain threshold. I saw her hurt herself one time. She gave a deadly performance. There were no real feelings there at all. Her mother is a witch. A child with no love or void of care is looking, searching, engaging with the one person who without a doubt will change their life in the wrong way forever. She was 13, mental issues, he was 40. They were both put into the same program for different reasons. We found out about it through a young offender who said he noticed them holding hands on a bus and followed them home, where allegedly, looking through the window, he saw them naked. A very dangerous scenario. For some members of the community, do not take kindly. Do not take kindly to vampires baying for a virgin's blood. Then the younger boy said he called the older man to say he knew what was going on. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Good morning, Your Honour. It is the night of the 31st of December. The man is home alone. The vampire, dozing on the couch in the lounge room of his flat, one in a group of 5 that share a common driveway, at approximately 11:40 p.m, the boy and a friend drive to the man's address in a black utility, registration number da-da-da, and park the ute in the service road out front. The boy leaves the vehicle carrying a silver-coloured tyre iron. His friend remains in the driver's seat. Your Honour, the boy bangs on the front of the flat and calls out for the man to open the bloody door. He repeats this demand several times. The man looks out and sees Andrew standing there, still holding the tyre iron in his right hand, who then says to him, open the bloody door or I'm going to smash in the window. Andrew uses the tyre iron to force open the security door. He's still yelling at the man to open up, and fearing Andrew would smash his way in, the man opens the front door. Your Honour, Andrew enters. He actually enters. Andrew grabs the man by the shirt, drags him to the ute parked in the street. He is still armed with the tyre iron, so the man doesn't struggle, fearing he will be assaulted. Andrew then has a conversation with his friend, during which the friend gets out of the vehicle and takes possession of the tyre iron from Andrew, who says, watching. Andrew reparks the ute outside the victim's flat. When Andrew alights, he regains the tyre iron and takes the man inside. Andrew tells him to pack up his property as he is taking it. He says, this is for doing a 13-year-old girl. Your Honour, Andrew and his friend, aided by the man, then carry the following property to the ute. 1x 68cm television, 1x DVD player, 1x surround sound stereo system, 1x flat screen computer monitor, 1x computer hard drive, and 1x microwave. Andrew sorts through the man's DVD collection. He places numerous DVDs in plastic bags. A white doona is also taken. Andrew tells the man that if he calls the police, Your Honour, he will kill him, then go round to the man's family and kill them too, because he knows where they live. Andrew asks the man for money, and picking up the man's wallet off the couch, he removes $160 cash and a bank debit card number da-da-da. He asks the man for his PIN, who writes it down, on a portion of a former bill and hands it to Andrew. Andrew gives his friend 2 times $50 notes and tells him to buy some alcohol. As he is leaving, his friend says, don't hurt him, to which Andrew replies, oh, I won't hurt him, I just want to talk to him. After his friend has left, Andrew picks up a cardboard box and lights it with a cigarette lighter. He waves it in front of the man's face and says, make a choice, get burned or get bashed. The man replies, Your Honour, I'd rather get bashed than burned. Andrew drops the burning box on the floor. The man puts it out under the tap in the kitchen sink. Andrew then pushes the man into the bathroom at the rear of the flat and commences punching and kicking him in the stomach, face and chest. The man falls to the floor and covers his face with his arms. Andrew grabs him by the hair and drags him to the toilet, where he pushes his head into the bowl, holds it under and flushes it. Your Honour, Andrew then picks up a green bottle of hospital-grade disinfectant, pours it over the man's head. The liquid runs over his hair and into his eyes. Andrew then pushes the man into the shower, turns on the water and says, get under and wash yourself off. When he gets out of the shower, Andrew and his friend are seen leaving from a neighbouring flat. Andrew calls out, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. The man is assisted by witnesses to the hospital where his injuries are treated. Police were then called. Megan states that she wasn't having a sexual relationship. The man isn't 40, he is 21 years old, Your Honour. The vampire, my apologies, Your Honour. The man states that he and Megan were lying on a mattress in his bedroom watching a DVD and fell asleep. 2 days later, Happy New Year. Your Honour, the medical examiner finds very painful red eyes chemical injury, swollen tender lip, right side abdominal flank and chest tenderness. Andrew was then charged with aggravated burglary and intentionally causing injury. He tells the police he was on drugs and alcohol that night and heavily affected. Andrew's on drugs and alcohol most nights. His life is filled with trauma. He was once in the top 10 most wanted people in the city, but he has taken responsibilities for his actions, and Your Honour, he accepts your decision. 2 years wholly suspended, 300 hours community work with drug and alcohol counselling. Thank you, Your Honour. I love this place. Oh. I love the water and the breeze as it whips in from the ocean. I love my sanctuary, my escape from the world.
Once upon a time, long, long ago, before creation, the earth was very dark. A grey blanket of clouds kept the light and the warmth out. It was very cold and very black. This great grey mass of cloud was so low the animals had to crawl around. The emu hobbled, neck bent almost to the ground. The kangaroo could not hop, and none of the birds could fly higher than a few feet. Only the snakes were happy because they lived close to the ground. The animals lived by crawling around the damp earth, feeling for fruit and berries. Often it was very hard to find food, and several days would pass between meals. The wombat became so tired of people bumping into him that he dug himself a burrow and learned to sleep for long periods. Eventually, the birds decided that they had had enough. They called a meeting of all the animals. The magpies, who were more intelligent than most birds, had a plan. We can't fly because the sky is too low. What we need to do is raise it. If we all gathered sticks, we could use them to push the sky up, and we could fly up with the sky and make lots of room for everyone. All the animals agreed. It was a good plan and set about gathering sticks. The magpies took a big stick each and began to push at the sky. Look, it's going to work. The sky, it's moving. The emus and the kangaroos and the wombats and goannas watched as the magpies pushed the sky slowly upward. They used sticks as levers, first resting the sky on low boulders, then on small hills. The animals watched the magpies pushing and straining until finally reaching the top of the mountain. They gave a mighty cheer and all said, "At last we can walk about." The emu and the kangaroo moved in long, proud hops. It was still very dark. The magpies kept pushing the sky higher and higher until they reached the highest mountain in the land. Then with a mighty heave, they gave the sky one last push. The sky shot up into the air, and as it rose, it split open, and a huge flood of warmth and light poured onto the land below. The animals were in awe of the light and the warmth, but more so at the incredible brightly painted beauty of the Sun Woman. The whole sky was awash with beautiful reds and yellows. It was the first sunrise. Overjoyed with the light and the warmth, the magpies burst into song. As their loud warbling carried across the land, the Sun Woman rose slowly and began her journey towards the west. Now each morning, when the Sun Woman wakes in her camp in the east, she lights a fire and prepares the bark torch she will carry across the sky each day. It is this fire that provides the first light of dawn. As she puts on her paint, the dust from the crushed red ochre colours the early morning clouds a beautiful soft red. Then she takes up her flaming bark torch. When she reaches the western edge of the world, she sits down, repaints herself, ready for her journey through a long underground passage back to her camp in the east. That is why, to this day, every morning, when the Sun Woman wakes and lights her early morning fire, all the magpies greet her with their beautiful song.
When I got back to this place, there was nothing here and everybody was going nowhere. So I wrote, not like Shakespeare. And I wrote, not like Austen. And I wrote, not like Birch. But we pushed the boundaries and created something special. I was told not to reinvent the wheel, so I didn't. I just learned to understand the wheel really well. Really well. I reported to my supervisor once a year. The operations manager would lend me their ear, and through union we would plant seeds. I saw us as gardeners. We would plant seeds that would grow a strong tree with healthy branches. But when you walk a fine line between life and death, sometimes healthy doesn't come into it. Half the time the seeds wouldn't have had a feed or the chance to change their socks. Some of them homeless, some of them in residencies, some of them couch surfing, all of them surviving. Day to day surviving. The system makes it easy. Use the system. Present the apple. Use the system. When they turn a certain age and they're not living at home, they go into welfare payments every fortnight. It all goes on drugs and alcohol. Then for the other 13 days, they have nothing. Surviving. Day to day surviving. The system gives them money. It opens the door. Parents are furious because everybody gets to know everybody. So, the good kids leave home to get the money, then they engage with the other kids and they want more money, and so the first rung of the offending begins. Police catch up with them, ring their parents. The kid says they're sorry and the police let them go, with a warning. But the arguments continue between the parents and the kid takes off again, catches up with their friends, and the pattern continues. This happened to Lynn. She was a good kid, but her offending escalated to the point where she was charged with burglary and firearms possession. Gun with a silencer. She was 15 years old. I thought, where the f did you get that? We were in the program 24/7, 7 days a week, and the phone didn't stop. This is Senior Constable such and such. We have Joe da-da-da-da-da down at the station. He's been brought in for theft. Joe was an interesting character. You have to watch the quiet times. They say they want to engage and then they don't, and then you go around to where they live with their mother and they sweet talk you into believing their bullshit. Then they disappear again and you get another phone call. Oh, this is Senior Sergeant such and such. We have Joe da-da-da-da-da in at the station. He's been brought in for rape. Quiet as a mouse he was. His lawyer wanted me to speak at his trial. I hung up the phone. Those girls. Perhaps I let them down by not noticing the signs, but I couldn't find him most of the time. Joe got 6 years and the girls got life. It's Mary. I've just seen Andrew. He's in trouble. He's carrying something under his jacket. Where is he? Out the front of the Performing Arts Centre. What, near the City Mall? Down by the primary school? Up by the railway station? I'm looking here and I'm looking there and I get another phone call. Where is he? Out the backyard? Ooh. I don't know what to expect, so I'm cautious. There he is. He's behind the wheel of a car. Where are you going, I say? Well, he doesn't answer. He's focused on his driving. Andrew, his hand moves up and hugs his jacket tightly, as if he is hiding something. Where are you going, mate? I say again. Andrew shifts in his seat. Are you all right? Andrew slowly turns and looks at me. His mouth is a ring of blue, like a blue-ringed octopus. He shifts again in his seat, still holding his jacket. So I am cautious. Can I come? I get in the passenger side of the car, cautiously. I have walked into a backyard and am sitting in an old sedan on blocks. There's no wheels, no doors, there's no passenger seat. I'm looking at Andrew as if he is actually driving this car somewhere. He shifts in his seat again, still holding his jacket, so I am cautious. He thinks he is travelling fast like he's in the Grand Prix, and my voice is just a blur in his head. Where are you going, mate? Nowhere. Nowhere. Can I come? Sure. Are you all right? Sure. What's in your jacket? Nothing. Can I have a look? Andrew opens up his jacket and there are paint spray cans in a plastic bag. Can I hold it? Andrew passes me the bag. He trusts me, seriously trusts me, and that is so hard to earn. Would you like me to take you to the hospital? I help Andrew into my car and we go to the hospital. On the way, he lights a cigarette. He what? Well, he lights a cigarette. What? We better not do that, mate. You've just been chroming and your throat and lungs might, explode. And Andrew looks at me and I look at him, and so we both have a cigarette on the way to the hospital. We get to emergency. I speak to the front desk. They put us in a side room. A doctor comes and sees him. She is very nice, and Andrew sparks up a bit. She talks to both of us, admits him, puts him in a room, but when Andrew starts to have tubes inserted into him, he starts to get agitated and the doctor tries to calm him down. And security is called and stands outside Andrew's bed. And the doctor wants to call the psychologist, but Andrew doesn't want to see the psychologist. And when the doctor goes to make the phone call anyway, he says, I'll smash his face in. And he says, if that bitch calls the psychologist, I'm going to go nuts. And Andrew says, help me out, will you? And I sit there watching Andrew, watching the security guard, keeping my one eye on the doctor all at the same time. I monitor Andrew's rhythm. People have an inner rhythm and it goes from 1 to 10 really quickly. You can see the gear changes and whether people are in control. Control, total control. It fires really quickly, 1 to 10, so trying to keep calm and alert is really a test of character and patience. And did Andrew pass? No, he failed miserably. He kept saying, help me, and to the security guard, I'll smash you in the face, I'm not scared of you. And the security guard just stood there watching. And Andrew kept saying, help me, and I said, no, I'm not helping you. I am not helping you take those things out of your arm. Oh, no smoke. You have to calm down. What? Andrew is more alert after they give him black tar and have him throwing up. The doctor calls a psychologist. He comes from the psychiatric hospital next door. I know him well. You've been there. My sister had. Drugs really f you up. She came home from another place and her marriage had broken up. She was a good wife, but got caught up in the pokey shite and lost a lot of money. Unfortunately, her ex didn't know that she had filched the funds until after they were going through the divorce. Then she met the wrong person and they introduced her to hard drugs and she was hooked. She lost her children, she lost everything. But she didn't give a f. She came home and for 3 years tormented my soul. My sister, the one who kept me safe when we heard the footsteps coming down the corridor. She would grab my hand and we would hide under the bed. I understood the bullshit she would talk and the constant paranoia. I felt sorry for her third child, a son to another fella, him on drugs too, him sitting in prison, her dragging his kid around. Baby nearly drowned in the bath. Family disowned her after that and she fell. Fell hard. Drugs always catch up with you. You can't escape from them until your body says enough. Enough is enough. Until that time, you will just crack on and exploit the system and say yes when you really mean no. It's like running around after a headless chook. It burns you out. You get burned out by the bullshit. How can you bullshit a bullshitter when the bullshit is bullshitting you? Oh, she was a nightmare to be around and talking all the time and fast and paranoid about her ex. Not her ex, but her ex, the new ex, not the ex-ex. Paranoid he was living in a roof and she was scratching herself all the time and junkies up the road wanted to kill her. Probably owed them money. Smashed all her windows and just went nuts. I had to call the police. They came. She resisted. They put her in a straitjacket. And she ended up where Andrew's psychologist had come from. Oh, these psychologists. He's great. And he speaks to Andrew, and we go outside and have a smoke. Smoke. And Andrew is fine sitting outside, but he didn't run away. No. And I watched the psychologist work his magic. And he gets Andrew sorted, and we go back into emergency. Andrew is released, and as we are walking out, I say, haven't you got something to say to the doctor? And Andrew looks at me and I stare at him. He's hesitant, but he doesn't. I'm sorry. And we walk out. He goes home and smokes billies and drinks bourbon and cokes. I go back to work. I was on call. I love this place. I love my silence.
Once upon a time in the creation, all koalas had tails. Long ago it was the worst drought ever known. Koala and kangaroo were so thirsty. I shall die of thirst, said Koala. I know, and I'm bigger than you, so I need more, said Roo. The sky has forgotten to rain, cried Koala. Roo got angry. We should be ashamed to sit down and weep like children. We are warriors. Listen, in the hills there is a dry river bed. If we went there, we could dig a small water hole and save ourselves. Come on then. then, said Koala, and off they went. On the way, they saw that all the other birds and animals were in much the same condition as them. Finally, after walking a long time, they made it to the riverbed. Koala decided to trick Roo, for he was lazy. "Begin for me, Roo, for I am tired. I will help you later." He curled up and went to sleep. Kind Roo had no reason to doubt his friend, so he began to dig in the riverbed with his powerful clawed feet. After a long time, Roo climbed out of the hole, but Koala said, "The sun has burnt all the life out of me. I'm sick and I'm surely about to die." Without a word, Roo hopped back into the hole and dug even harder to save his friend lying under the tree. Soon, Roo had found the water and was just about to drink when greedy Koala rushed past him, knocking him down, and started to drink the water himself. Roo had been tricked and was terribly angry. He took a sharp stone artifact from his pouch, raised it above his head, and brought it down with all his might. Koala let out a scream and was so scared that he jumped up into the first gum tree he could reach. Koala looked down to see Roo with his stone knife in one paw and Koala's tail in the other. "You are not nice, you are greedy, and for that you have lost your tail. You do not share, you are selfish. We are now enemies for all time." And Koala had been up in the trees ever since, too scared to come down in case Roo was there, just like he was in the creation.
My daughter is 8. She has depression. My son is 5. He is angry with me. I miss my dad. My daughter does not want to get out of bed and go to school. My son kicks, punches, and raises his voice. I want to protect them. Protect them from what? Their mother is frustrated that her children are suffering because their father is not there. I want to see my way through this mist, but I can't. My daughter is in pain, my son is angry, and their mother is sad. But they are safe. Safe. Safe from the torment of the world. Safe from the worms who slither through the streets. Safe from the prying eyes of the wicked. What about love? What about love? Love is a 4-letter word taken out of context. I never got it growing up. I never got it from my mother. I never got it from my father. I never had someone read me a book and whisper in my ear as I was falling asleep that I love you. I got the system. The system doesn't tell you that it loves you. The system doesn't read a book at night. Well, unless you're at the police station and they're reading you your rights. The system is made up of policies and procedures implemented over 100 years ago. Internal solidarity clauses that once a policy is adopted, its representatives are expected to adhere to them, are bound to support every decision. And unless you work within policy, how is policy going to change? Therefore, policy is not going to change. And that means there's no love there. A few decades back, people in our community started to understand the value of the dollar. There was once a saying that community is unity, but I think it got lost. Once the value of the dollar got understood, the unity in community started to crumble. And just as I found myself, they took my voice away. There's no vision, no strategy, no program. Cannot let that happen again. We must keep going. Stay strong, keep going. And I was only here because he let me be here. Power of one who makes all the decisions is the power of one who controls your destiny. The power of language. Apparently we are no longer Aboriginal. Suddenly we are Indigenous, First Nations. Another escape route from the past. I mean, what a fool are we to be fooled by fools? Peter. Okay. Fine. 5 years' work, over 400 young people, 24/7, 7 days a week, one full-time program, one 10-day cultural gathering camp around the boundaries of country which connected them to their identity, place and belonging, their role and responsibility, and how to transform them for the society in which we live. Years of hard work down the drain. And it's not going to stop until Mother Nature says it's time. And society will keep moving forward, and we will still keep struggling to get our true voice heard. We are the gateway to the old world. We are the connection to the old world. For I am me, and you are you. For I am me, and you are you. For I am you, and you are me. For I am you, and you are me. Aboriginal, Australian. When they come into contact with the justice system and are placed on a court order, they come to me 24/7. Whilst they are sleeping, I whisper in their ear, wake up, get up. And even though they've gone to bed at 5 a.m, drunk, stoned, popping pills, they get up because they want to connect with who they are and who they trust. But if there's no money, there's no tomorrow. If the system calls it a pilot, you have an in and they have an out. What now? I'm asleep, but my eyes are open. I hear the phone ringing in my head and I say hello. I hear the breath of a desperate soul and my heart is racing. Help! I wonder if I'm dreaming. Help! The sounds are panicky. Help me. Yes, I am here. Wake up, Peter. Yes. No, you're dreaming. No, wake up, Peter. Yes, I am here. I see you. Do you? Peter, I see you. Hanging from a tree. Hello? I am sitting in a pub when I hear this voice say, hello, Peter, who is a young man, but I don't recognise him. But I play along. And he introduces me to his mother and his girlfriend. Hello. Do you recognise me? And I look at him, still can't place him. I am from the place where you have just been. And I stare at him. And his mother says, I want to thank you for changing my son's life. And the boy had become a man. And he shakes my hand. You changed my life. You're welcome. I will get up in the morning and I will go to the phone. I will get up in the morning and get dressed. I will get up in the morning and go to work. I will get up in the morning. I'll be up in the evening and stand by the phone. I will be up in the evening and be dressed. I will be up in the evening and wait. I will be up in the evening. I will be up in the night and answer the phone. I will be up in the night fully dressed. I'll be up in the night and respond. I'll be up in the night and gone. I will be up in the night and gone. There is this old man with long grey hair and beard. He is as old as the beginning of time. Every morning he stands on the edge of the water waiting for the sun to rise. He listens to the sounds which surround him and sees 3 magpies perched in a tree. They sing the songs of the new dawn approaching. I can see the sun rising on the shore. I can feel its power knocking on our door. I can hear its whispers as the dawn begins to rise. I can see its beauty in the light of my clear eyes. I am here. You were there. When we met, no, I care. I can see my son rising on the shore. I can feel his power knocking on my door. I can feel his presence as the dawn begins to rise. I can see my daughter and her beauty in her eyes. I am here, and you are there. When we meet, no, I care. I can see the sun rising on the shore. I can feel its power knocking on our door. I can hear its whispers as the dawn begins to rise. I can see its beauty in the light of my clear eyes. I am here, and you are there. When we meet, no, I care. He feels the wind as it touches the tip of his fingers, and he watches the breeze as it dances with the leaves in the trees. He understands the rhythms of the day from this ritual that he performs every morning. He watches the horizon and sees the warrior ancestors protecting the gateway to the spirit world. Many of our people are there. Many won't make it. He watches the streak of light as it touches Mother Earth for the first time and wonders how many lost souls know this feeling. Listens to the water as the ripples sing their songs, and he hears the animals as they yawn away the night. He sees the moon faint in the distance and thinks of the achievements of man. Yet here he is alone again on the edge of the shore on a new day. He has waited so long for the sun to rise. The sun rises to warm the world. A cold chill engulfs the dead as they sleep away the day from the devil's dancing in the night, while three magpies perched in a tree watch on. The new day is here. Thank you.